Pisces, welcome to your Sunday Shuffle. Let's see what's going on for you in the upcoming week, yeah? What's going on, please, for Pisces? Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces. What's going on, please, for Pisces? Show me Pisces, please. Nine of Cups, Knights of Wands, oh my. Knights of Pentacles, like slow it down. 10 of Cups, 7 of Swords. That's so interesting. Somebody else pulled 7 of Swords towards the end there. I want to say it was one of the earth signs. Yeah, but other than that, things were moving in a particular direction. 9 of Cups, you generally feeling good about you, self-love, wish fulfillment on the personal level, honoring yourself, your sense of wishes, your sense of self-love. Knights of Wands, some passion here, some fast energy. Woo! Could be coming straight towards you, or is yours going to someone else? I don't know. I got 2 Knights here today. Knight of Pentacles. Right there in your timeline, you're like, slow it down. This feels good, but let's slow it down. In the immediate future, a sense of 10 of Cups, emotional equilibrium, harmony. And then further out, 7 of Swords. I don't know why. It's not an accusation. Don't take it as one. Okay, that's not what tarot is about. It's 7 of Swords just generally loosely equals avoidance. Okay. And sometimes we do this consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously. I don't want to deal with that. I may not know why, but I don't want to deal with it. Not today. Or ever. For some people. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see why you're having that reaction in the future. Let's see that 9 of Cups, please. But overall, generally a positive energy coming from you. Kind of a lovely sense of self. Let's see that 9 of Cups, please. The Magician, 7 of Wands, the Moon, you. You were trying to pull something in, but I'm not entirely sure of how aware you were of it. It was something to do just for you. Personal happiness, personal sense of fulfillment, personal sense of pleasure. You were manifesting it, but you didn't seem to be entirely aware of it. This seemed to be happening more at the subconscious level. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't want anything just for me. Why would I do that? There is something in you that very much desired from the universe happiness in the form of, this is just for Pisces. You wanted something just for you that spoke just to you from the heart, from a safe place, of self-love. You wanted something special just for you. Uniqueness, and you're literally there with your power card. But the thing is, there was some blockage around what you were manifesting. I don't think you fully understood that you wanted something just for you, something special, something unique, something that appealed and spoke just to you and only you. I don't know that you were fully aware of it. It looks like somebody tried to meet you. Knights of Wands. Why you weren't fully openly manifesting this, I don't know. Perhaps you just didn't know. Let's take a look. Let's see that Knight of Wands. Show me that Knight of Wands, please. The Empress, the Fool, Knights of Pentacles. Wow. Yeah, somebody tried to meet that call, honey. I don't know if that was a mating call you were putting out. I have no idea, but somebody was trying to answer the call, and it was beautiful. You know, it's pretty hot. It's hot, but also stable. At first, I was like, well, maybe what they pulled in was a bunch of passion. I don't know, but no, it was passion with purpose, which is great in my book. Knight of Wands, the Empress, the Fool, the Knights of Pentacles. It took a while for this person to arrive, but when they did, it was color. It was vibrant. It was alive. It's like, here I am. But it took a while. It took a while for this person to be delivered to you, and I don't know why, but they showed up when they showed up. It might be because you didn't fully understand that you were manifesting something special just for you, and I keep coming back to that. There was a part of you that deeply desired personal love, personal pleasure, but you weren't fully owning it. And perhaps that's, I don't know why. It's not an accusation, babe. I'm just trying to read the cards, okay? Don't shoot the messenger, although some of you will. I can't help that. But that, and something slowly but surely entered your timeline when it was supposed to. Not a moment before, not a moment too soon, just right. And it was powerful. The Knight of Wands, the Empress, the Fool, that's beautiful. It says, I'm here, I'm loving this. I'm loving life. I'm generous. I'm loving. I'm also passionate. And by the way, I'm open. I'm open to you. Honey, you put out the love call. Here I am, baby. And it's just so marked. It's so distinct. It's incredibly distinct. Like that energy is like, oh, I'm taking a risk on you because I want to. I think you're special, Pisces. So whatever that special love you wanted just for you, it showed up. And it showed up in the form of a person, and a very strong one too. They have some very sharp corners on their personality. Very vibrant, but also steady. With the Empress. The Empress doesn't play with fast and loose energy. You know, so when I see the Knight of Wands attached to her, it's because she is genuinely a passionate person, but she's also in control of who she is. So she might have very passionate energy, but it's limited to experience. It's limited to that person, or maybe that person, but it's not for a wide variety of people, places, things, situations, or circumstances. She's still very discerning. So, I mean, when I tell you this person greeted you full on with the best of themselves, that's what it looks like to me, honey. And see, that Knight of Pentacles is here twice, but it took a minute. It took a minute. Let's see that Knight of Pentacles, please. What happened? I hope you accepted it. But again, if you didn't know you were manifesting, it may not have ended up that way. I don't know. You did, honey. You had such a deep desire for the universe to bring you something just for you. Just for you. Something special, flavorful, savory, lovey, just for you. Knight of Pentacles, Three of Swords, the Chariot, the Knight of Wands. Oh. Okay. They tried to move forward with you, and I believe you tried to move forward with them a little bit. But the pacing's way off. You two cannot find your rhythms, or you didn't know how to find your rhythms. To meet up, somebody's heart space was a little marred, scarred. Whenever they were trying to greet this, I still got the same repeating knights here. So when you two tried to connect, it wanted to move in a particular direction with the Chariot. But somebody's heart space was timid or afraid or scared to fully embrace this, to go with it, to run with it. To really just run with it. Go wild with it. It was the time, it was the place. And I know it may not seem like that, but for somebody who's not prepared to receive their manifestation, it's never a good time. Again, it's not an accusation on you. It's just that's how you opened. That's why I'm assigning it to you. But yes, it could be reversed. It's a collective reading. Therefore, it stands to reason. But Three of Swords, the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, it's like we couldn't find our pacing. There was times when the energy moved forward way faster than the 3D energy. You know, 3D energy was way, the realistic endeavors in our 3D world was way behind the energy. And one of the things that kept it from slowing down is that somebody was really terrified to put forward their intentions, to lay them down, to verbalize them, to say this is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, this is how we're going to move forward, this is how I want us to move forward. Like all that strength of conviction that is the Chariot, the boldness of the Chariot was cut back dramatically because somebody had fear in their heart. And it's normal to have fear in the heart, but when it goes unaddressed, we cause rejection in ourselves and in others because the pacing's all messed up. And I'm saying the pacing being all messed up because we wanted to move it forward, but we didn't know how because it was based in fear. Fear of being hurt, being rejected. Fear. Somebody did not feel secure in the movement of their particular vehicle. I don't quite know how to put it. And it's something I still see you struggling with to understand. Perhaps you're still struggling to find a rhythm with this person. Let's see. Let's see this. Show me that Ten of Cups, please. Let's see that Ten of Cups, please. The Hermit, Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords. Yeah. You have something else going on altogether that suggests discord in the family dynamic. I know you're trying to work through it. I know you're trying to fix it with the Hermit. Perhaps that's why it's affecting this personal side to your life, is that there's something a little bit more on the family side. Larger circle of life, emotionality, that seems to be on the fritz. Nine of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Hermit. Although I do see this as upcoming energy, it's likely that something like this is already playing an interference back here. In other words, life, The difficulty of it, particularly in family and friend dynamics, the frustration and or existing tensions that are already underlying that could have been affecting this from day one. Perhaps that's why you didn't know that you were manifesting behind your own back or low-key something just for you. Because if this is an ongoing problematic family dynamic issue, trust me, stuff like this doesn't happen overnight with families. It probably stretches back sometime. And if it stretches back far enough, I could see why you didn't fully understand why you were manifesting something just for you and only you. You get these ongoing family dynamics, generational issues that are unresolved conflict and tensions and people not working through themselves and working through their stuff, and you do your best to be the peacemaker in the family dynamic. It makes sense that you would be manifesting something just for you that you could love, because in a way you were trying to love yourself more in the way that your family doesn't seem to always be supportive of. You know what I mean? Sometimes our families can be very, very selfish in that respect. If I'm demanding your time, energy, and attention right now to help fix everything else going on with these 20 people, and it feels like you have no room or for space for you, yeah, you're going to manifest something privately just for you. You just weren't aware of it. And so by the time it was delivered to you, it's no wonder you can't find your footing in it, because it feels like there's a constant struggle elsewhere in your life, and it keeps you from fully committing to a particular direction with this, what you feel about it, what you're allowing yourself to feel about it. Unbeknownst fears playing on your heart and its movement because of the demands of things that was already in play before this person got here. I think whatever you have going on in your family life really largely dictated how successful or possibly wasn't successful with this person. As much as you wanted to have the energy for it, and they definitely wanted to have the energy for you, I think this was your chance to kind of pull away from the drama of family and friends to seek more of your own personal happiness, pursuit, even maybe, God forbid, get in a space where you could properly fall in love and just run with it. But the family thing keeps drawing you back, and this looks like something that cannot fix itself, not just by your efforts, honey. It takes a huge toll to be the peacemaker, because it seems like the peace lasts for like 5 days until somebody starts some drama again, and then you get called back in to referee. So I feel like this was your permission to break away from this construct and just go headlong into this relationship, whatever this is, because it wanted you very much. And you did want this. You pulled it in, even if you didn't know it. You wanted something just for you, and now I can kind of see why. Your family or whoever else is in here takes a toll on you, and it makes you feel like you're not personally loved and that you don't have much of an escape route. You know, you need to be your own person too. Pisces needs to be their own Pisces. You are more than just a member of a family that just won't work itself out. Right? You're more than the referee. You deserve love and happiness too, and this person crossing your timeline was your chance to just have an excuse to jump in there and run with it. I'm not saying completely abandon your family, but I'm also saying if your family means anything to each other, they'll work it out with or without your influence. That's my point. Sometimes referees have a hard time understanding when they're not supposed to be. You can't always be the peacemaker, and you can't always make family and friends get along. They have some responsibility in that too. You have a responsibility to yourself first and foremost. You really wanted something just for you, to love you, to be crazy about you. You pulled it in you weren't even trying. And you managed to pull them in. And then I see somebody here afraid to get their real footing in with this, to get their real stride in it, to really have that conviction of heart to take it and run with it. Because I believe a very extensive, chaotic family kind of surrounds you, for which you feel perpetually obligated by, and that's going to set fear into your heart. Absolutely, about taking off and running with it. Look at who you're surrounded by. Falling in love isn't going to look that great when you see other people having bad examples. You know? Let's see that Seven of Swords, please. Let's see that Seven of Swords. But you still have free will. You still get to choose. A dissatisfying but semi-functional family and friend structure where you get to help it a lot, but it never seems to stay that way. Or a love that's just for you. You get to choose, honey. You get to choose. So I'm at 7 of Swords. Sorry. The Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Page of Swords. That's interesting. Some of you are, again, it's not an accusation, some of you are afraid, at least for now, at the time being, to kind of understand. I looked at that because the light changed dramatically on the camera right now, so I don't know what the heck happened. Interesting. Anyway, many of you are not accustomed to growing into your spiritual selves. That part's been neglected. Because it's like if you were really in touch with your higher self, as the Hierophant and the High Priestess suggest, those two are spiritually divine counterparts. Okay. Our spiritual sense of self in the greater scheme of things and our spiritual sense of self on the inside. They work together, or at least they're supposed to. Page of Swords, some of you are just so accustomed to not seeing that part of yourself, that higher sense of self, obligation to the self first. Many of you don't see that your first and foremost contract begins with you, not your family ties. I know that seems bizarre, but everything begins with the self. You cannot really ever be at peace with your family until you're at peace with yourself. And if you don't know, if you've never given yourself much room to explore your higher self, you will always put yourself last. You always put your needs last. You will always put your emotional needs last. You don't, some of you do not know how to commit to yourselves, because you've been taught or conditioned into committing to everyone else first. I see you sneaking away from your higher self. I don't want to develop into that person. Not yet. I don't think you were taught to that. I think you were taught probably family first above all things, even if it's at cost to you, and that's bullshit. It's bullshit. Because this looks like it's perpetuating and it's not going anytime soon. That's generational shit. You had nothing to do with that, and you're not going to be the savior of it, honey. You're not going to solve a conflict like that overnight. No. And at some point, when a family is functioning and it has its quirks, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people are perfect. They're going to have their quirks and their oddities, and oh, Uncle Bill, this, that, and the other. He drank too much at Thanksgiving and he shot his mouth off again. Oh, Uncle Bill. Okay, but the point is, if Uncle Bill and Auntie Marie and Susie so-and-so are always fighting and there's always drama and you feel you have to be at the center of it all, you are not honoring yourself first. You're not. And if you're not honoring yourself first, there's no way in hell you will ever really find peace in this family dynamic, and understand first and foremost it's not your problem to solve. You will always be forsaking what's in your best interest, particularly love of the self, because I got someone here who's just waiting to love you like crazy, but you can't commit to the direction. Or the pacing, for that matter. It's okay if a relationship goes slow, just so long as you know it's slow, but you're still dedicated to moving forward. The same thing if it's fast. Doesn't matter. Just so long as two people agree on it, you're cool. But I have you afraid to commit to getting in that car and taking the full ride, because this always pulls you back. And I can kind of see why. Many of you are used to sidestepping your own sense of higher self. Honey, if your higher self, if you could listen to it, it would tell you, Pisces, honey, put yourself first. Otherwise, you could lose out on this and you will never move forward from a family that will never really be completely at peace, or be at peace or healing with itself. And that's nothing you can personally do, honey. You can't. I think you're assuming way too much responsibility for something that was never your responsibility to begin with. Even if you were put into the caretaker role or the peacemaker role, which everybody kind of has that role somewhere in their family, it wasn't meant to be your job full time, and not to the point where you're forsaking your own interests. It's just, it's ludicrous. It's the equivalent of saying, my mom or dad, you know, they passed and they left me $100,000 in debt, and I guess that's my job. No, it's not. It wasn't your debt. This dynamic, this bullshit was already in play before you came in on the scene, honey. You cannot fix that. You can choose to participate in it or not participate in it, but regardless, if you are having to forsake yourself and step into your higher self, then the answer is wrong. Okay. All right, that's enough. I'm sorry. As far as I can tell, whatever this relationship is, it seems to be at play. It's just in terms of you really allowing yourself to stretch your legs in it, to move it forward in a particular direction and allow yourself to feel good about it. That is going to require you to kind of come to terms with the family thing. Because I see you really wanting to savor and devour this energy, this connection, this relationship that actually looks like it's for you, not against you. You don't have to play peacemaker in that. But I don't want you to lose it by default because you don't quite know its direction, that you're afraid to move forward in it. Okay, you need to trust yourself more. Okay? You need to trust yourself more and get in tune with that shadow side. Why do you feel the need to perpetuate in this? And this is also, again, you, the moon. You need to trust yourself more and trust in more about what you believe that is right for you, and that you do have choices, and that you do get to have spiritual growth regardless of who is surrounding you, whether they be supportive of it or not. And generous. The generous offer I'm saying is this connection. It was generous. It was very generous. The universe delivered to you and then some, and you weren't even trying. Or at least I don't think you knew. This autumn might be important for some of you in terms of either this connection or the relationship dynamic that you have with your family. Okay? Okay. And yeah, counsel and therapy. I know many of you have probably tried to act the counselor in this. I'm saying as many of you need to better understand your relationship to yourself and in context to your family. You are not responsible for the generational nonsense that you are a part of, but you don't have to live in it. You get to live your life. I hope if you need to be that person, and I want you to be that person, counseling and therapy are not dirty words. I very much advocate that. Oh. Yes. That was a big old yes. Yes. Okay. Give yourself permission to be happy, please. I told you this person crossed your timeline at the perfect time when you needed it the most. And if you want them to continue to be there, you need to choose them more. Choose yourself more. Choose yourself more. All right, Pisces, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.